Rawr. What is it? What is it? Let me confirm this. Yo, thank you for the sub, Nate Dog. 23 months. Let me finish that. How have you been? What have you been up to? Is my... There we go. I forgot that capture card had the... That shouldn't get too annoying. It's only one sandwich. Oh, actually, no, I'll reset. Because if I save here, then I'm going to be stuck with it. Just about to head to bed? Yeah, that's fair enough. I know that I'm live a wee bit late tonight. Right. The real hunt is going to be finding no outbreaks in that little dry area. Right, third time's a charm. Once I get it, I'll be good. I'll fly to the Dusty Bowl, and I will. That's what it's called in Galar. Whatever the area is called in Kitakami, I'll go there, and then I will save, and none of my other sandwiches will encounter this issue. Perfect. Ah, the Paradise Barons. Not that. Picnic. Picnic! Delicious. Yeah, I got my already have my weekly Tandemaus encounter from the weekly challenge of Pokemon Go. Not shiny again. Let's start with these ones. I think that's blue. Tis. I see there's been quite a few stuff for Pokemon Go. We've got the new, not Blanche, Spark. We've got Spark's new event. We've got new season has started. I believe this week is also the stuff for the Chicago Go Fest. Which does mean lots and lots of raids. Let's go this way. Geodude. And because of how my luck always goes, I have found a shiny today. It was a male combi. Yes! There's quite a few female combis around, so I'm happy with that, but so far, Spark's event has given me shiny male combi. I'm like, oh. That's what we got here. Yeah, my goal for this current Spark event, I've only hatched a couple today, but my goal is to do 7-kilometer eggs and hopefully get a shiny Varoom. I never got one when we had the last takeover event. But Varoom seemed pretty rare in those eggs, to be honest. I think I hatched like 2 out of maybe 3 out of like 30 eggs. 30 12-kilometer eggs. Wait. Do you want outside? Hold on, I have to let my cat out. 2 seconds. Come on. Come on. I'm back. God, I let my cat out and then I'm attacked by a dog. It does feel weird though. There's a even though we've got these like weekly events, there's no like weekend event. Like last weekend, this coming weekend, I think the weekend after as well, because of all the IRL Go Fest events. And I'm just like, now what do I do with my time? I don't know what I'll do this weekend specifically, but I mean, last weekend I played through Croc. I could probably find something else that I can potentially run through in a weekend. Except this time it's a 2-day weekend, not 3-day weekend, so I have to make sure I'm locked in and not offering mediocre gameplay. Dying every 2 seconds. I decided that I would do a death montage for the Croc game. Oh. After my stream ended yesterday and I was thinking about it, I was like, that might take a while. Because there is a lot. In about the 10 hours it took me... 10 hours? 8 to 10 hours it took me to play it. Right, I'll check this one and then we'll carry on. No, carry on this way. Earthworm! What the helly? It might be a lot to ask for, but I am hoping for maybe 4 shinies today. Get that nice round 50. What's up, Voltoon Prime?
Hello there.
Hope you're well. No, that one had the funny colour pants. It's not the yellow. Ooh. Yeah, nice round 50 I think would be preferable. Half odds. Probably like quarter of the way through the hunt. If I'm unlucky. Like I was with the Dunsparce. Ugh. Hey, you're all good. Life and all that stuff happens, you know. I hope you're all good and everything's okay though. Recovering from surgery. Oh hell yeah, I hope you are all good. Hopefully no complications and you are healing all well now. Yeah. It's hard to tell sometimes. The hitboxes of these Pokemon is literally hit and miss. between physical restrictions, the really strict dietary restrictions, the meds. Are you doing okay now? Scoot through there, that we get. A little bit better. Hey, that's good to hear. Even the small W's, they're still wins. Knowing my luck, all of these sandwiches I run, if I get shinies on each sandwich, it'll be right at the end. It happens almost every time. General Kenobi! No, I appreciate that. No, I don't want my screen to turn off. Thank you. Hola, Profi, what's up? Hey, you're all good. I mean, at the time it's frustrating, but like... honestly, I don't care enough to be that worried about it. Right, scooting here before that girder gets me. Dude. Unless, of course, by making it up to me, you fly to Niantic or the Pokemon Go headquarters at Scopely or wherever it's actually based, and tell them to give me Shiny Tandemaus that will evolve into Family of 3 Mousehold. I will accept that. Ordering for CA merch opened up. Ooh. Oh. Oh dear. hopefully everyone was patient and understanding and helpful with information that they provide for their issues and queries. Ooh, 3 hours without stopping.
Lizard, 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 lizard.
Hey, what up,
lizard,
TJ?
Lizard,
It's still handling
lizard,
tickets now,
lizard,
12 hours later.
Lizard, lizard, lizard,
I mean, aren't
lizard,
there,
lizard, lizard.
I mean, there'll be a lot of community ambassadors, which I guess is why it takes up all that time. And yeah, the max battles are tough when you can't see what... I think if they showed you what other people were bringing, it would be better. Because it's one thing to go into a 5-star max battle, have everyone over level 70, and you're like, all right, you know, everyone should have half decent Pokemon. And then people bring some randoms in, it's like, oh dear. Also make the timer when it fills up, maybe not automatically go down to like 10 seconds, maybe force a like force people to push a ready button, or only knock it down to 30 seconds maybe. Over 2,000. Look, it's according to Vegeta, it's only impressive if it's over 9,000. And that's all good, TJ. I hope you had a good day at work being the mitochondria. I did notice that when I called you that, you didn't laugh react, which I thought was an insult, but it's fine. It's fine. I bet. But was it a good day at work? Nonetheless? Oh, well, that's good. Honestly, feeling exhausted is probably the best thing. Because it'll help you force yourself into like that work mode routine. Hey! I just paid $300 for me and the kids to go to the circus next month. Sorry, with booking fees and all of that nonsense, it was $350. Daylight robbery. Do you know where the saying daylight robbery actually comes from? This is something I heard, and I don't know if it's true, but I'm going to say it is. Apparently, you used to have to pay a tax on... Yeah, it is Weber Bros. Apparently you have to pay a tax on windows or something like that, and so people boarded up their windows so they didn't have to pay tax. They were calling it daylight robbery because you're making people pay to have daylight, essentially. Don't know if that's true, but it sounds true. I did not fact check that information that I heard. Yeah, my son will like it. Yeah, yeah. As an adult, I'm like, it is what it is, I guess. I mean, they're more talented than me. I can't do any of those things, but is it the depression or is it the medication? I don't know, but something stole my amazement and magic. Yeah, I think they get the big ball cage thing and ride motorbikes around that. That's pretty cool. I mean, I can't even ride a motorbike outside of a cage. Every single experience I've had on one has been me almost killing myself on it. So, me and motorbikes and we have a very toxic relationship and we're better apart. Yeah, I got VIP seats. Just not anymore because I paid for it, but figured might as well do something fun with the kids. You know, right? And then the girls at work dragged me around town because they wanted to look at like the cheap stores and stuff. And then I just ended up paying for everything. They're like rummaging through bags, getting cards, and I was just like, look, I'm being dragged around here and you're keeping me here longer than I need to be, so I just paid for it because I'm quick. And they're like, oh, Dan. I'm like, yeah, I know. It's alright, they buy me coffees all the time, so it's fine. Yo, you caught a hundo lily pup? Sweet. What, just as a home spawn, or? Oh, and it only just spawned too. That's cool. Rude that it wasn't shiny though. Oh, not a new one? How many do you have though? Because I mean, you could just have one for the whole evolution line. Yo. Yo. Stop making the door fart, weirdo. Did it? Oh. Yeah, please. You're on course, you have one perfect Stoutland that you evolve for the Dex entries, so just need another for Herdier. Yeah, probably the least cool of the... It was 2 of them, yes. Oh, it was the 2 that came from me. The pseudo-adopted one wasn't one of the 3. Oh, they're gone now. They brought me half spilt coffee, which is lit. But let's chuck that there. Gen 5 is a great generation. Lid's got coffee on it. It's a thought and effort. I paid for it. They just got it from the bag and brought it to me. I would not do that in real life. Even though arguably you probably could run down a cliff like that, because it wasn't vertical. Nah, man, I would sprain an ankle, I would pop a kneecap, I would end up in the old folks' home. Gen 7 is another favourite. Gen 7's cool. What's by Profi? What did Profi write or create? Oh, you're leaving, TJ. Oh, by is spelt wrong. Yeah, I think it's almost a certainty that we will one day... Hey, you're all good. I just like to be irritating. You know what's lame? That first sandwich. I think we will inevitably get a Australia region at least, or maybe they might do like an Oceania, like Papua New Guinea, Australia, New Zealand, but I think it's too obvious. We'd probably get a regional Kangaskhan though, and we'd probably also get a regional Kamala. Honestly, I could go grab like my white or my white 2 and just randomly walk around and just like lose myself in the region. Like especially the sequels. Well, the problem with an Australia-inspired region is I feel like because in reality Australia is like Pokemon, everything is weird. I think all monotremes on the planet are all Australian, like platypus and echidna, and I think there's one more. Wombats do poos in the shape of a cube. Like literal cubes, it's like a Minecraft. And yes, the cassowary, a literal dinosaur. It is a raptor. Don't get me started on kangaroos. Which I think, and that lies the problem for me with them making a Australia-based region. It's because I think it would be hard to do an Australia region justice without just copying and pasting actual animals from Australia. But you never know. Wind and Waves, I believe, is like Indonesia, which is relatively close to Australia. Never know, there might be Australia region-based hints in the games, even if that's not hinting towards a future game. Maybe at least adding to the background lore and canon that there are, you know, that there is a region that's Aussie. Male kangaroo that is also ground and fighting type. They could also, in theory, backtrack Kangaskhan, make the what's up, dog? Actually, a real crazy one would be to have a kangaroo Pokemon be part water type. Because kangaroos are really well known for their kicking ability. Their claws are like super sharp. They're physically strong. They're like ripped to shreds, like muscular. But they like to lure prey or predators, or in some cases it could be a dog. Maybe someone's dog got out and kangaroo wasn't having it. And the kangaroo will go into the water, and it'll hope the dog follows it, and it literally will grab it and hold it under the water till it drowns. Australia is the definition of a PvE server. Like, you know that when people discovered the platypus and they, you know, documented and reported these discoveries of this new animal, no one believed them. People were like, that's not a real thing. There is no such thing as this otter creature with a duck bill, and they've now found out that the males have venom in this. They have like a spike that is like venomous. They glow under ultraviolet light. They lactate through their skin. They're mammals, but because they're monotremes, they lay eggs. Like, I know they exist, and if you told me they existed, I would still probably not believe you. Australia's ridiculous. True. Maybe that's the war that Lieutenant Surge went to fight. He went to help the Australians fight the emus, and he's like, those Espathra, they got us. Could just be a regional Espathra, to be honest. Yeah, platypus are the missing note of the real world. Something happened and a glitch happened, and it's one of those glitch animals. Or I suppose an emu could be, depending if it's a form or it's its own Pokemon, but dark type. That would be really cool. Because other than the fact it's called Psyduck, I mean, is it actually a duck? Maybe it's just a fat Japanese platypus from the Kanto region. And it gets headaches because it questions its own existence. It's like, why do I exist? I do hope we get a wombat Pokemon at some point. That's part poison type and has an ability where if it's hit, it drops a poisonous cube, and the next turn it throws that cube with its attack and it deals double damage or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. They probably are violent. I think being naturally evolved to Australia, I feel like you have to be. And then they've got that Gimpy plant, which leaves like hypodermic needles made of silicon inside your skin, sometimes for years, causing like immense pain. And I know this because I heard a story about someone who was in the Australian bush and accidentally used some as toilet paper. Yeah, Australia is the region where Pokemon start at level 50, but you still start at level 5. The only things that aren't violent are koalas, and I think that's because, and it's not an insult, they are probably too stupid to be violent. They have a literal smooth brain. They eat poison with like minimal calories. Because eucalyptus leaves are they're meant to be poisonous, and in fact they are poisonous to koalas. Except the mothers have to, I can't remember, do they regurgitate or does the baby eat their feces or whatever? And that gives them the gut bacteria that can help break down the eucalyptus. Otherwise, if they just eat it without that gut bacteria, they just die. Because it's poison. Say that to their faces and see what happens to me. Absolutely nothing. They would stare at me with the same vacant expression they were probably staring at me before. They're almost like pandas in the sense that when you see how they live in the wild, you really do wonder if they were meant for extinction in the nicest possible way. Like they were going to evolve. They were evolving to the point where they just could not function at all. Like even without humans. Yes. And I think all koalas except there's like one little island off the coast of Australia is the only chlamydia-free koalas. Which is crazy. I don't know how they get that. Maybe it's, they say the New Zealanders and the Welsh people like to shag sheep. Maybe Aussies like to shag koalas. I don't know. But, yeah, honestly, that's a fact I keep hearing, and it's always against my will. But if they did do a regional variant Kamala, or they did... True. Swingers in more ways than one. In the way that you're referring to, and on the trees. It would be cool if they did if it's not a Kamala variant, have one that has an ability, either an ability or an alternate form that's similar to how Morapeko works. You know how it has a hangry form? You'd have the regular form, and then you'd have the drop bear form. Aussies love to go on about their drop bears. You didn't hear it from me, but they're not real. It's funny, I have this core memory from when I was younger and I was in Australia. This giant bird stole chips, like not like American. Like, I'm talking about like hot chips, not crisps. French fries. That's the word I was looking for. Was that like a cafe thing? This giant bird just flies in and like grabs a mouthful and like it's not like a seagull or a pigeon. This is like Australia. And it's like this core memory I had. Never knew what type of bird it was until I became an adult and I started learning about bin chickens. And it's a type of ibis. And I think they're native, but in civilized society they are pests. In the sense that they rummage through trash, they will fly down and steal food off people with zero hesitation. They're pretty big birds. They're not like aggressive, but they're like, yeah, it's a giant bird just swooping down at you. It's like, they should make a Pokemon on the bin chicken. I don't know if we have any ibis Pokemon, to be honest. Would Goribus count? Oh, Goribus. I'm hilarious. Apparently there are milk drinkers up until 6 months and then they eat. Oh, so they do. Okay, so it is the poop that the koalas eat, right? I knew it was either the vomit or the poop. Honestly, part of me hoped it was the vomit. What is it with Australian animals and poop? We've got the Minecraft wombat. Where's my mouse? It's special baby poop. Hey, look, it comes from the same factory. Hey, honestly, at least it probably smells minty fresh. The one positive to a diet of solely eucalyptus leaves. And because I was that child, I have bitten into a eucalyptus leaf and they are disgusting. That was definitely a one and done. Might as well. Yeah, like a real wild boar. That would be cool. I like the idea of the swinub line, where it's like a pig, like a little pig thingy that turns into like a pig mammoth. So I reckon that's cool. Well, that's probably the only thing about koalas that aren't offensive then, because I don't know if it's true, but I have heard if you try to feed them eucalyptus leaves, they won't eat it. They don't recognize it as food unless it's attached to the tree. Like, that's how smooth the brain is, apparently. Which means I can't criticize my only 2 brain cells fighting for 3rd place as being questionable when at least there's a couple of wrinkles up there in my noggin. Just a couple. I wonder if it's any good for anything, if it's usable as like a manure, or if like the eucalyptus trees have sort of evolved to take nutrients from it or something. Yes. And if you are including New Zealand, a lot of birds that can't fly. Although, we could get our own regional variant form of braviary. The largest eagle that ever lived was the Haast eagle, and it was native to New Zealand. It was extinct, I believe, just before the Māori got here, but it was big enough to pick up like baby moa. So it would have been able to pick up people's kids. I might be slightly off on when it went extinct, but I mean, that's pretty much what we've got here, birds. And the tuatara, which I think is technically classed as a reptile, but it's also technically not a reptile. It's its own adjacent, like the last of its kind from like the age of the dinosaurs. It's not a dinosaur itself, but you know, one of those very old adjacent species. It's like this lizard thing. I'm pretty sure it's born with a third eye and a beak, and they grow really old. And we've got one down here in my city. His name's Henry, and I think he's like 150. So not much older than me, but pretty old. I think New Zealand sort of got a bit of a nod in the Alola region with the Jangmo line, because we have Hakamoa, and because that evolution line's meant to be of like Polynesian warriors. I mean, New Zealand is part of Polynesia, so. But yes, a proper Kiwi Pokemon, and then some more of Australia's oddities turned into Pokemon would be real cool. Also, too many spiders in Australia. People are scared of snakes. Oh, the spiders would do my head in. I know that huntsmen are pretty much harmless. Even if they bite you, it just hurts. That's about it. But I don't need bro bigger than my face sitting on the bedroom wall. Like, no wonder Queensland in Australia has so many bushfires. It'll be people like me that are just seeing these big spiders and just the whole house, bye-bye. Burn the lot. Throw the house away. And they're still discovering like new spiders and all sorts in Australia, which is cool. I just wish it didn't have to be spiders. Apparently they genuinely do cause like a lot of car accidents. My cousin lives over there. He was saying something about there's a whole insurance thing around it. I think potentially you have to pay extra if you want to be covered in an instant that a spider's like all of a sudden on you in the car. Because it causes a lot of accidents over there. Because I'll be hiding up in the sun visor or whatever, and you won't know, and you'll go pull it down, and all of a sudden you've got this spider that's this big falling on you. The spider's panicking, so it's like crawling at 1 billion miles an hour all over you and trying to escape, and it doesn't know where to go, and you're panicking and screaming and forget that you're going whatever speed, depending on where you are when it happens, and end up totaling your car. Yeah. Oh, I'd love it if it was based off a Komodo dragon. I'm potentially picking Gekua anyways. I like reptilian sort of thingies. I don't know if you could tell. Like I picked Sobble, but I wasn't the biggest fan of Inteleon, and I think that I have seen a redesign of Inteleon that I like more, and it was just giving Inteleon shoulders. And I was like, oh my god, this is the same thing, but whatever was like, something was off about it. I couldn't pinpoint what it was. It needs shoulders. Bro's arms are in line with its body, but separate from his body. I'm like, you are weird. I just hope that we have starters that remain on all 4 legs. The furries have been eating good the last few generations. It doesn't have to happen every generation. Also, I don't know how it would become this, but what's the fire one called? There's Brout, Gekua, and Pombon? I hope it becomes firefighting. Doesn't have to be bipedal, but firefighting. Just because I know it'll rile up the Twitter. Oh! And I do enjoy watching people get a bit riled up over things that, honestly, just don't pick that starter then. I love it. It's why I'm still on there. I actually really love Blue Sky because it's peaceful to post on Blue Sky. If I post things to do with Pokemon, that's people comment to do with Pokemon. I can post Pokemon related things on Twitter and all of a sudden I've hit into a community of people that aren't in the Pokemon community, and uh-oh. But I do love the unnecessary rage side of it. I think it's funny. The passion. I mean, ground would be interesting for Brout. I remember with Rowlet, people theorized that Decidueye was going to be potentially ground type because there's a type of burrowing owl that lives in Hawaii. Obviously that didn't happen. But it was an interesting thought at the time when it was being brought up. Bro just spawned into existence. Hello. I mean, it could be water poison, grass, dark, and like fire psychic or something. I know we've already got Delphox, but we had like 3 firefighting starters in a row, so. That is if they're going to give them all secondary types. Watch, we finally get the new sound type that people have been theorizing we were going to get since like Gen 4 or whenever it was that started. I think it was before Gen 6. A light type or a sound type. because there are like specifically sound-based moves. I think that theory came from the fact that in Pokopia, out of all of the, I guess the not sentient Pokemon, because they're sentient anyways, the people Pokemon in that game, Stereo Rotom is the only one that changes typing, and it's normal electric. So I've heard it be mentioned that, oh, what if we actually get the, which obviously is probably not real, but what if we get the sound type and normal is just a placeholder and we actually get a new form of Rotom? In these games, and it's to introduce the sound type, and then maybe we get an evolution as well to celebrate that, or which I wouldn't be against. I don't know if our type matchups need it. Wow, is that done? Well, that's poos. Alright, one more. I'll make a sandwich. Yummy! I mean, the last island region we got them, we might get more. I think we will get more Ultra Beasts inevitably if we have like a Legends Alola game, or Legends Ultra Space, or another, you know, Gen 7 adjacent region, regional sort of game thingy. I think maybe we would get a couple more Ultra Beasts. But I don't know that the reception for the Ultra Beasts themselves was very well received. I don't think they liked the developers. I don't think they liked them very much. Right, time for four shinies, one sandwich. Four more Regis. Which four? Are you meaning like water, fire, I can't remember what other ones we don't have that are like elemental. Grass. You might be lucky though with the Ultra Beasts. maybe we get DLC and it's, you know, the Ultra Recon squad are doing something and you've got to help them, and maybe you end up going through Ultra Space for a bit, and yeah, maybe you get to encounter a couple of new Ultra Beasts. They've done crazier things. I prefer that to be a whole game, but I'll take what I can get. And we already have a water type Reggie. It's Reggie Float, that dude that covers himself in all of those floaty tubes and walks around like a giant totem. Yeah. And then someone fan arted it and turned it into like an actual, like, Reggie. I was about to say, I'll even take a phase that isn't Tandemaus, just for a phase. But then I was like, no. I'll get Timber again and I'll hate it. Don't get that one! I mean, technically then, wouldn't you only want 9 Reggies and then Regigigas being the 10th? Sort of like how now we have... Or would you want 10 and then Regigigas? I mean, we've got 8 evolutions. I don't think we're going to get one for every type, if I'm being honest. They would have milked that cash cow by now if they were going to. Yeah, that'd be really cool. I've always thought of a fire Reggie almost being like lava. But then I don't know how you'd easily make that differ from essentially what Heatran is. Heatran is just sentient lava that's held together by metal. But I do like your idea. It's like flames, but like, yeah, the thick black smoke around it, and just see 4 more and it makes 10. 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, because of Regigigas, right? Yeah. Hey, if we randomly got 2 extra Reggies in the Crown Tundra, I think there's definitely a possibility of us getting maybe a fire, water, grass Reggie trio. Obsidian themed Pokemon. No, for some reason I don't think we do, and I feel like we should have. Because the first thing that pops into my head is Necrozma, but Necrozma's not... Necrozma's a prism, not obsidian. It's black because it's absent of light, not because it's actually obsidian. Regicano. Regimantle. Oh. Formed from Earth's mantle with the viscous magma flows from the convection currents that fuel tectonic movement or something, I don't know. Some sort of word porn for geologists. The only thing I wouldn't be convinced about would be a dual typed I don't think it would be a dual type, just because none of them are dual type and neither is Regigigas. There is a Pokemon, it's the Mantle. It might come to me while I'm streaming. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head, but I know it's... Yeah, it's not one... After the conversation we've just had about fire and Earth's mantle and magma and all that, it's not related to that. You could change it up. The only reason I feel like they wouldn't for the Regis is changing it up would change the whole lore of what they are. They're like elemental golems. Pretty sure they're meant to protect something. I don't know if it was Gigas or not, but... I don't know if ground would be considered elemental. Like dragon was a stretch. Dragon's the only one where I'm like... They're just lucky that Regidrago's cool, because it has a Charizard skull. The Mantle Pokemon. Oh. My brain keeps telling me it's either got like a big head, or it's like its body is like there's some sort of core aspect. Did you find anything Obsidian related, Profi, as well? Both are probably true. Well, I'm glad to know that my brain's knowing that this thing exists and giving me really vague ideas, and they're not actually that helpful. Other than I'm pretty sure it wasn't a fire type. I think Yeah. I think the, I know what it is. I might get the evolution wrong. Is it Rog and Roller? Or Boldor? Ah! I think because the Galar region is based on England, or the United Kingdom, I guess. Actually, more so, it's based on Britain because it's the island, not the Ireland's not there. Oh, Boulder is the ore Pokemon. Oh, okay, yeah. I see. You go back to medieval times and stuff, and the stories about dragons and magic and all these mystical energies and whatnot. I think is why they allowed the magical typing that is dragon to become elemental. Because it's like ancient, but also probably one of especially the earliest types in Pokemon in a real world sense when Pokemon started evolving from little tiny Pokerus all the way up into bigger Pokemon. It was probably things like rock, water, and then probably dragon, to be honest. Maybe grass, then dragon. Or if you believe Mew is Pokemon Jesus, then I guess they started as Psychic type, but... Honestly, Pokemon classifications are sometimes odd. Like, one I always remember is the hairy bug Pokemon. Do you know what Pokemon I don't think of when I think of bugs with hair? Like, Volcarona would fit that. It has fur. It's not the hairy bug. It is Weedle. Weedle is the hairy bug Pokemon. I don't know whether or not I thought that Weedle had fur or not, but hairy was not a word I would have used to describe Weedle. Nah, you're not dumb. Some days I'll just genuinely forget a whole Pokemon exists. And I'll be like, that's right. As it like comes back to me, I'll be like... I used to be quite the wealth of Pokemon knowledge, and I don't know what happened. Maybe I just got old or whatever, but... now I just forget things. There is apparently a limit to what the brain can store. I look so young. Oh, thank you. As of my birthday a week and a bit ago, I am 34 years young. Or old, depending on your perspective. Handsome. Isn't that what single people have? Instead of a threesome or a twosome, they have a handsome. Haha! Yeah, I know, my jokes are It's something else. It's also my ring light has very specific lighting. Some days I will take a selfie and I'll be like, that's disgusting. I'll be like, I know I have eye bags. I didn't need to see all 6 of them. I'm pretty sure you knew you were older than me. Definitely maturity-wise. You forget things in your old age. Yeah, same. I might be technically younger than you. Mentally, probably, yep. I have the sense of humour of a child. You tell me a pee-pee poo-poo joke and I'm hysterics. Yeah. Yeah, that does also happen when people are forced to grow up a bit quicker than they should have. And still do, so it's going well. I'm like running over here and they're just like popping into existence. That's nice. Yeah, turned 34 on the 16th. Yeah, I totally get it. Most of my friends are in their early to mid 20s. So I'm the grandpa of the group. Which is okay, because I like to tell them that that comes with wisdom. Not that they believe it, but yes, I am wise. Oh, that's so good of you, Profi, chaperoning those youngins. '21. I mean, you would have. I mean, maybe biologically, Profi, but like, you'd be on an episode of Jeremy Kyle. Yeah. I suppose, no, the legal age is 16 in the UK, isn't it? It's the same as here, so I suppose, yeah. Yeah, it's not super uncommon here either. No, I was forgetting that you guys had the same age as us. I thought you were more closer to America with 18, but... Yep. Yeah, ever since I stopped removing the beard entirely, I stopped getting asked for ID, which honestly was good, because when I was heading towards 30 and I would get asked for ID occasionally, I'd be like, look, I'm not at the age where it's flattering. I'm at the age where it's annoying. Give it another 10 years and I'll be happy to show you my ID. In fact, I'll do it without being prompted. I'm like, here's my ID, and they'll look at me up and down like, yeah, right, mate. Oh, it's like the movies. You foreigners and your youthful complexions. You know, us real people, we age like unrefrigerated milk. Yeah, that's definitely the downside to testosterone. It ages you very quick. I was, when I found out that I have like in the normal range, but almost out of like too high, just natural testosterone. My doctor said I'm very lucky that there isn't baldness in my family. Because one of the first things to happen when you have too much testosterone is you lose all your hair. Which is why those guys that aren't natural in the gym and they pump themselves full of roids. See, I wear hats all the time, but they wear hats to hide their balding. So yeah, I was told I was very lucky that I've had the same Vegeta hairline since I was about 21, and it hasn't receded any further, so I think I'm good. I don't mind looking like Vegeta. Vegeta's the GOAT, so it's fine. But yeah, the old testosterone ages you very quickly. Oh, I thought that was a rock. I mean, how we see ourselves is different to how other people see us, though. Because we normally see ourselves through a mirror, which is not how other people see us, because it's reversed. Also, I have smoked cigarettes on and off throughout my life. Don't smoke cigarettes, they're disgusting. Which doesn't do wonders for your complexion, I'll be honest. And it stinks. It's gross. Yeah, I totally understand that. If I notice that it is not my time, psychologically, if like the depression's hit me like a truck, I have to not look at myself. Because yeah, it's not dysphoria, but it's like a symptom of the depression where it has a similar. So I totally get the not wanting to look. That's not shiny, that's the lighting. Timber is trying to gaslight me. I'm glad you've gotten better with it. Hey, plenty of young people have diabetes. I don't think it's an old person. Is it classified as a disease, or? Not actually sure, because it's not like an infection. Yay! Profy photos! Hey, it's your first time at one of these things. You might as well, you know, put everything in so you get everything out of it, you know. Probably TMI, but I've never tried wearing both at once. Yeah, that's not a problem I've personally experienced. But I imagine other people would be empathetic of that plight. Yeah, I think as long as you feel comfortable in the photos, I think you'll be happy. I think you'll be happy to see them afterwards. Yay! Slay. Hey, there is nothing wrong with that. Yeah, it must be summer now, because it's June here, so we're technically winter. Oh, a lot of rain currently forecast. Well, whoever's using Rain Dance should stop and maybe... Oh! I know what you can do. Start spreading rumours that Deoxys is there, and Rayquaza will not be having a bar of it. And then Rayquaza will come looking for Deoxys, and its Delta Stream will get rid of the effects of the weather, so it will stop raining. I'm pretty sure that's how reality works. I went 3 sandwiches and didn't get one shiny. That is ultra poos. Ah! That is the most... Oh, that is the most... Excuse me? What's going on here? Huh? Yeah, that more is having a Pico. I'm gonna keep that. That'll be a nice memory for me to come across in my Switch media. Just be scrolling one day and go, "What is this?" And I'm like, "Oh." Right. Well, that was poos, but I had fun. Also, if you're on the east coast of America, I appreciate the fact that it's pretty late at night for you and you're here hanging out and chatting, so that's cool. Yeah, I imagine from the west coast of America to go to places like Europe, you'd have to go to the other side of the states, and then unless you'd fly over the Arctic, maybe that's quicker. But yeah, uh, honestly, maybe if international travel is something you want to do, take a couple of domestic flights, ones that don't go so far that, if you feel uncomfortable, you can just go back without being, flying across the other side of the country and all of a sudden you're stuck in a different place and you're stressed already. Um, just do it in little bits. New York to Europe can be as quick as 5 hours. That's crazy to me. It took, including stopover, not layover, but like a stopover. Um, it was like to get to Osaka from Auckland was 28 hours or something. I did spend like 5 or 6 hours sitting in Hong Kong airport, but oh, yeah, flying to New Zealand is something when you're comfortable being in a plane because we're in the middle of nowhere, and the closest place to us is Australia, and we had a whole like hour talking about why that might not be a good idea. Um, oh, the flight goes over the Arctic. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Right, I'm going to wrap up the stream here. I appreciate. I would, but if I was to go to America, I'd like to go and do stuff in America first before I fly back home, instead of flying as a chaperone. And I don't have a pilot's license to fly a plane, so I've got plenty of American friends, but that want to come to New Zealand though. True. Hey, if the sleeping pill doesn't work, the alcohol and the sleeping pill will work, even though it's not recommended. That is not medical advice. For legal reasons, that is not medical advice. Um, but yeah, thank you guys for coming in and hanging out. I appreciate it. I'm glad to hear you're feeling a bit better, Voltoom. And I'll be live again on Friday. We'll do Tepig. Don't know what I'm going to do this coming weekend. I'll definitely at least do one stream. But yeah, I don't know what I'll do because there's like nothing happening in Pokemon at all. I could do that. I could go for a wander around town and we'll just jam out Pokemon Go. Honestly, I might even do that, and then maybe the weekend after when it's Copenhagen, maybe I'll play a different game that I can complete at least over the 2-day weekend, like I did last weekend. But yeah, thank you all for coming and hanging out. I appreciate it. Good luck with your guys' Spark event. I know yours has probably started, Profi, but good luck. I know you probably won't be there, and that's all good. I don't expect you to be. An hour to go, all good. Right, well, I will see you guys hopefully on Friday. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Bye.